crafty friends, I'm back. This is Angie Caney, and I want to make a new project this week. And so when I got Anna's vintage clock dies, I knew exactly why I wanted to use them. I have a love for Disney, and so a lot of times when I see a product, I can also see how it could be used in a Disney mashup. So as soon as I saw this, I saw Cogsworth, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple pictures here for reference. And the one I was thinking of was more of the live action film. So to me, this looks like Cogsworth. And what I want to do is that I want to use it with the new Gild machine, and I'm going to foil a few things and see how to go ahead and use this. And then I want to put it in a scrapbook layout. Now, I haven't done a scrapbook layout in eons, and that's kind of how I got started into paper crafting years and years ago, is that I did scrapbooks for myself for Disney trips, and then I started selling them online. So I'm going to go back to my roots here a little bit, and I have this Disney paper with Belle and some red foil paper because, well, she has a red rose that is in the story, and so I kind of thought we could work Cogsworth into right about there and then have room for photos and embellishments. So that's my plan. At the moment, I want to work on foiling the vintage clock die. And then I also have, now these are the impression dies that I just got in the last couple of videos. I ordered the fresh impression dies, and I believe this was part of the set. I also have another version. This is the other version of impression dies. This is from the craft box, and it has several dies to choose from also, but I'm working with the roses today. So I want to get my foil out, and I'll start with the roses first. They've been heating up here. And then if there's enough room, I like to put them side by side just to save on cutting foil and using foil. So I'm going to set them off just like that. And then I have just some gold foil paper here. We're going to do foil on foil. And so I'm still using the medium setting and at 4 minutes, so I'm going to let this run and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's send this one through. Okay, so that foiled pretty nice. There's still a little unevenness, so I'm not sure what my problem is, but for now I'm going to work with this. And it almost cut all the way through. So for now, I'm just going to fussy cut these out. I'll pop these out as best I can. And the next time I'll use my shim. Okay, so what I want to try and foil right now is going to be this outer layer, or the face part of it, however you want to look at it. And then I'm going to do red with this also, because there's a little bit of red in the live action version. And then I'm going to do it on gold. And I have Anna's gold foil. It's from the Spooky collection, I believe. It was on sale a while back. So this is the paper we're going to be using, the gold foil. And then I'm going to bump this up to 5 minutes. And I'm going to use the large setting and cover it up and start. And I'll be right back. And I can tell it didn't cut anything. So I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to grab my metal shim and put down and send it through again. Okay, let's see what we got. It's still not cutting all the way. I mean, these are popping out, that's good. And it didn't foil it all the way here at the top. There's extra foiling in here. That's going to be okay because I'm going to cover it up. Okay, so I'll fussy cut this out off camera. And then this would be the reverse foiling if we do anything with that. And it kind of cut here, but still not all the way. I'm going to turn this off for now. Okay, so for the next part, let's cut out the outer layer. So this is the foil I'm using. It's Anna's Spooky Matte Foil. so that was good. It cut out in one pass. I wonder if I can line this up and just send it through, if that would work. I guess we'll find out. So this could be a good thing. Because I think that's one of the things Anna talked about anyway, was being able to send it through after you foil. So this will just be the first time for me. Okay, so there we go. No fussy cut needed. And the foiling is still there. That looks really nice. Yay! And I don't know if you watched my last video, but I was talking about how my room is so small that my desk just gets overwhelmed very easily. And I kind of sort of revamped my cart, cleaned it out, added new casters to it so that it's mobile. And then I have 2 attachments to the side of my cart so that I have free space to the side. And then I went back and kind of used my own advice, because at one point I made this video and it didn't get a lot of love. So I'm just going to show it again. So to help keep my space organized so that I can work as I go and not lose everything on my desk, is that I have this, I think it's called a stadium organizer, and I pulled it out, and this is just what I'm using for this project. Now you could, you know, even load it up, like get yourself ready for your next project. But so I have this to the side on one of my little cleaned off shelves right here so that I don't lose everything on my desk. So here's what we have so far. And that lines up really nice. And so I need to cut out his face. I'm going to do that in another color. Put him here so I don't lose him. Okay, I did some digging in my stash, and this is what I came up with for the face. I wanted something else, but this is what I have. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to foil black on here. So I'm going to let this heat up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see using the metal shim, it cut out nicely. It's a good thing. It cut the foil. And it overfoiled. So I guess, I don't know, it's still a work in progress. If you don't want the overfoiling, see her reference sheet that she sent out. So I'm not sure if it's the heat or the pressure or the fact that I used the metal shim. I may still be experimenting with that, but you know what? I'm okay with it. Kind of fits the scenario. So that's gonna go right there. And then I have the little dies to cut out for the arms. So those are the little arms, and I have some black shiny paper. So those came out nice. Oh, here it is, gosh. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside just for a moment, just because I'm going to start on building the page. And what I want to do for this is that I have this red foil cardstock, and this is the signature page, and then I want to use this for your photo mat. And what my plan is I'm going to cut out a section in here, so this is just a border, and then I'm going to trim around this a 1/4 inch. No, I think I'm going to take more off this side. I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off this side so I don't lose this border here. And then I'm going to probably take a 1/2 inch across the top, just so that I'm not taking off anything here. But otherwise, you would just do a 1/4 inch all the way around. And then for in here, I'm going to leave about 1 inch. So if we go up there, that gives me 1 inch from here to here. So if I start here, and then just rotate and repeat the same process. So that'll give you your border. And this should be approximately a 1/4 inch all the way around. Now, if it bothers you that this is going to be not as sturdy, you could always just fill that in with another sheet of scrap paper, because you won't see it. And I should have pushed on my cutting blade instead of pulling. When you push, you're going to get a cleaner edge. I just forget and get lazy. So I'm going to put some score tape all the way around. And I get this score tape off Amazon, and I'll put a link for it in the description box below if you want to try out some new score tape. Okay, then you have this to either be a foreground or a background to your pattern paper. I'm going to make it a background and we'll make this 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, so it'll hold a full photo here. So let's see if me pushing instead of dragging will make a difference, because this blade is used, Let's do 4.5. That'll give us a 1/4 inch on each side. So 4.5 by 6.5. See how nice that is? There's a little bit of jagged here, but a lot better than what I did. And then 6.5. And you also kind of like push down on this, which kind of lifts up here so that it cuts clean. It's just a tiny bit. And I like to do maybe a future video on just paper, because not all paper is equal. And then what I always do is that I just line it up. I don't cut this out. I mean, you could 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, but I always just do that. I'll put some score tape on it, and then I'll stick it down, and then I'm just going to cut around it. So there's your photo mat. Which we can put over here somewhere. I'm not quite sure yet where we'll put that. Now it does say always wear your tiara, but you want to be able to leave some space for a nice title for your page. And so what I plan on doing here, so I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to make this so that it flips, and then you'll have 2 more places for photos behind here. So I'm going to add a bunch of foam squares. And then the same with this, but I'm going to try and find a brad to hold the little hands. So let me go find a little brad. Okay, gosh, it's been so long since I've used a brad. I was impressed I could find them. I don't know if I'll use a gold one. I thought I had some black in here. Let's see how one of those look. So what do you like? Do you like gold or black? I think I'm going to go with black. Okay, here we go. So he'll get some foam squares too, his little face. Okay, so that should be the correct way to put it, right? Okay, so now I need to find, I don't know if I'm going to do this, but he deserves some little eyes. So we'll see if I can find some eyes. But for the moment, I want to see about making this a little hinge. And so I don't know, should I go up, side, or down? I don't know, I think going up would probably be the easiest, because otherwise I'm putting a hinge on these little feet down here, and I can probably make something fit right back here. And I can probably cut off a piece of this foil and make it work. So this little guy I got at Five Below. I want to say it was like, you know, what, $4.99 since the store is Five Below. And he's just, she is a great little extra tool just to have on hand, so I don't dig out my trimmer every time I need it. Okay, so let's try this little hinge out, see how well it works. So in that pack of score tape that you can get on Amazon, it includes different sizes, and I like that so that you aren't stuck with just the same size. So this one's a little bit thinner than this one right here. And then there's even a thinner one than this. It's about half that. So we could put it right there, or you could offset it here and then have your photo here and then another photo down here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way. So then you'll be able to lift it up. And if you move it up just a smidge higher, let's see if I can do that. Then it'll be able to open up. That looks much better. Okay, so I'm going to put some score tape on this, and then I always too, I'm not sure how everybody's doing it these days, but I'm just going to put score tape along the edges here and leave this open, and then you can always tuck something behind it. I want to say mini albums and folios have been around. Well, they've probably been around a lot longer than I know of, but that I've been doing them has probably been the last, what, 10 years? So I haven't even done any 12 by 12 scrapbook layouts since then. So that'll give you a spot for other photos that are a little tag or whatever's being used these days. And then for this piece, I have a circle punch that I want to use that will go in here. So let me find. I have this scrap here. That you could use here. After all, that seems a little small, so I don't know, I might just cut out another circle to go in there, and then you could have one up here too. And then down here, and then we also have our roses to work with. And then I know I have some of Anna's sticker roses that could work. So I'm going to find a piece that'll work here. And I'm bad. I don't measure. I just eyeball it. I'm going to make a mark. Probably here and here. And then I'll be able to stick it here and then just eyeball that and trim it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an X-Acto knife, and I might trim this down just a hair just so that it's not covering up her arm, but then I'm going to go around this little broom here and pop that up. And I bet you this blade is not very sharp. Okay, so I'm going to go with that, and this, and this, and then let me see what stickers I can find of Anna's to keep this more Anna. Okay, so I took a little break, so I'm not 100% sure where I left off. But I am going to run the shadow layer upside down. Well, the shadow layer is in the right position, but the paper is upside down because I want this to be the bottom side of my die when it flips up. So I'm going to glue that together right there, and then that'll be pretty when you flip it up. And then while off camera, I went ahead and cut 2 4-inch circles with my Cricut. So they are going to lay here. Okay, so I'm going to, whoopsie. So that's interfering just a little. So I'm just going to bend that up. You could trim it off if you want. And for the fun of it, I'm going to put a little bit of glue there. Oh, and I still need to come up with his little eyes. Okay, so you're going to flip it up. And then you'll have your frame there for a picture. And then let's just do this. We'll line that one up. It already has adhesive on the back. We'll just lay it down. Smush it down. Smush, smush, smush. Oh, there it is. Okay. So the other thing I was working on is I did go ahead and put some score tape there. That's going to go here, and I fussy cut around that with an X-Acto knife. And I left the top open. Oh, and I also went under her little elbow right there. See if I can get that. And I want to just give it a hair of a border right there. And then this can lay down, and whoever gets this, you know, slide your picture underneath. And then if you wanted to, you can just put a drop of glue so that the broom sits right there. Or if it's going to interfere with your picture, you'll just be able to snip it off. So we have that, and then I went through a few of my embellishments, and I pulled out these that I'm just going to put over here. I'm just going to glue down on the outside edge so that you're still going to be able to put a picture in there, and then put this on some foam squares. And then I'll put this off to the side, And that way your picture should still theoretically slide right underneath. And then the same for this one. We'll just put some on the very bottom. That will dry, and then I'm going to put some squares down at the bottom, maybe down on this edge here, here, and here. And you'll be able to slide it right up to there. Just gonna put a little foam square there for now to hold him down so it doesn't get ripped off. And then I do have this rose left over that I was thinking of using and you know, I'm just gonna trim that off because it didn't get foiled anyway. So it could live right there. There, perfect. And then again, it's open so that you can slide a picture under it. So really there's 4 spots for pictures, and then you could use this, or I don't really have any scraps too much left over. These are my only scraps in which you could make some little pocket tags like that right there. Or let's see, I think I have 2 pieces. This is 3.5 by 5. You could get a good picture on that. And this is 3 by 4. You could get a smaller picture on there. And if you wanted to, I could put like a small strip down there just so that it's tied in. Ooh, what if we did this? Oh, you could totally do that, and then put a piece on the back, and then that way it's still framed. I like that. Okay, so let's trim this. And then we're gonna cover this up. We're gonna just gonna use some score tape. And that's what I miss about my ATG. Like, I just need to refill it. Is that by the time I get this on here and peel my tape up, my backer, I would be like done and moved on to the next project by now. There. So we got an extra photo mat out of this that we can stick up here. And that way you can put another picture on the back, or if you're into journaling, you could journal. Okay, so I'm gonna call this good. I think it came out great. And look, all my pieces are still together. I haven't been disorganized. I haven't lost anything. Last week, I can't tell you how many things I lost in my pile. So I really like that. Okay, so we have photo mat, pull out, and a flip up for 2 more. So I'm gonna go and find some kind of eyeballs for him and put these on. And then what I might do is, if I can get enough views on this, like let's say, can we get 500 views? And then I can do a drawing, and I can ship this out for free to a random winner out of 500 people. Let's see if I get 500 likes. And then if you could leave a comment of some sort, then I'll be able to do the drawing out of the comments. We'll do it that way. So I hope you like this. Go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you do. And this is free for you to do and priceless to me. There is no membership involved. There's no fees involved. This is a way for me to be able to help my channel and to hopefully give some inspiration to someone. I really hope so. So this is out to all my Disney people and my Anna people, and I appreciate you watching. So until next time, happy crafting. Bye.